Shabbat Shalom. You know, something was interesting that I was thinking about recently, and that is that who usually causes change, revolutions in this world? Interestingly enough, it's not older people, people who have experience in life, who have really thought through issues. It's actually usually the younger people, college kids, kids who have what we say underdeveloped minds, right? People who are still thinking through the issues. And it's those people who really cause changes. And we see this throughout history all the time. I mean, from the earliest times that we've seen, that we recorded in the history books, changes in history. Why is it? How come we see that the revolutions happen by young people, through young people, not through older people? And interestingly enough, it actually happens in this week's Torah portion. We have the crazy story that goes on. We have this young girl, Dinah, Jacob's daughter, who goes out into the city of Shechem. She's abducted. And then what happens, there's a treaty between Jacob and Shechem's father, Hamor, and they make up that, okay, you know, we're not happy that Dinah was abducted, but we're going to make peace. Your men will marry our daughters will marry your men. Everything's going to be good and fine. Make a deal that the people of the city of Shechem is not just Hamor's son's name, but it's also the name of the city, because Hamor is the head of the town, and they'll all circumcise themselves this way. They'll become Jewish, whatever Jewish meant at the time, and everything will be fine. What happens after the men are all circumcised? Shimon and Levi, who are only 13 years old at the time, they take their swords and they go and slaughter all the people in the city, and they bring Dinah back home. Now you can imagine Jacob is not very happy with what just happened now. Why is he not happy? He's not so upset because of what they've done, because at the end of the day, he was really upset that they took Dinah in the first place. He's more upset because he made a deal with the people of the city, and they went and broke this promise that they made, this covenant between the two people, and he's afraid of the backlash that was going to happen. Now, we have to ask a question: what did Shimon and Levi themselves do? Let's forget about what happened between them and their father. What did Shimon and Levi just do? They just made a revolution. They changed, they didn't listen to what their elders said. This is the first time that we have recorded in the Torah a story of revolution, young people not listening to the older people. And here's something fascinating. They're only 13 years old. And today, years later, we celebrate a bar mitzvah, and by the way, a bat mitzvah. Dinah was only 12 at the time. At the age for girls at 12 and for boys at 13. Why? From this exact story. And here's what's fascinating. Not just that we learn 12 and 13 a bar bat mitzvah from this story, which is in itself a crazy idea that we learn from such a negative story, such a positive lesson, but also here's the question. Why do we learn this story from them? From the lesson of a bar bat mitzvah from such a crazy story, if this was such a negative experience? And the answer is no. I mean, yes, in the sense that this was a bad, technically speaking, they didn't listen, but there's something very, very good over here. You see, when kids don't listen to their parents, they're not obedient. On the surface, this looks terrible. Why aren't they listening to what their parents are saying? But we have to look a little bit deeper, or a lot deeper, and see these kids are not listening to their parents. They're expressing themselves in a way that's beyond just following orders. They're seeing something much deeper. They're trying to get something out of their system. And they're saying, one second, something is really bothering me. Something not right is taking place over here. What is this thing not right? They're saying, our parents made a deal. Jacob made a deal with Shechem's father, with Hamor. Okay, that's your politics that you're dealing with, but something deep down is going on over here. Dinah was abducted. We are not going to sit quietly. Now, was Shimon and Levi right or wrong? The truth is that they were right. They should not be sitting quietly with what's going on. And this is what happens when people are young. They see something that their elders sometimes do not see, and they break through. The question is, obviously, that the elders have to see this power of the young, power of the youth, and we have to guide them to let them revolutionize this world, change the world, but in the positive way. And this is why we learn the bar bat mitzvah for children at such a young age. Yes, we might say they're underdeveloped. That's true. But if we take their energy and guide them in the right direction, say, you have this energy, you see something that's pure and beautiful, but let's do it in the right direction, then that's what happened. So it's true that Jacob always struggled with Shimon and Levi. He never fully punished them. He might have not given them blessings, but he didn't fully punish them because we today understand the power of the youth. We just have to take them and energize them and set them in the right direction. And this is what happened to Shimon and Levi. They might have not honored their parents, but they really did honor their father in a greater way. And I think this is something that we today have to always understand, how to take it and enhance the youth, take it in the right direction, not always listen to everything they're saying, obviously, because they're not educated enough to fully understand the experiences of life. But we have to understand to take that, and always for ourselves also to remember, even as we get older, to always remember the innocence of the youth, take that lesson with us, and as we go along, grow from that and retain that, and have a great and meaningful Shabbat.